If I asked you which of these would have a bigger impact on my long-term happiness, what would you think? Speaking on a TED stage, or noticing that the sky is really pretty today? One of them is a life goal, has taken years of dedication to my vocation and months of preparation. The other happens spontaneously, is easily forgotten, and something that I can take absolutely zero credit for. As much as we want the big life events to have this kind of cosmic shift in who we are as people, as much as we want to believe that they have a big impact on how we think and what we feel, the truth is they don't. Big things don't have a big impact on our happiness. Let me say that again. Big things don't have a big impact on our happiness. Positive mental health might be the most important topic of our generation. How and why we got to this crisis around mental health is something I'll leave to social scientists. But what I do know is that by unlearning this one fundamental idea, we can start to make better informed decisions around where to place our increasingly limited energy. So to unlearn this idea, we have to understand this chart. You might recognize this chart. It's widely accepted by positive psychologists to represent where our happiness comes from. The 50% part represents your genes. And I know this can feel heavy if you have parents with mental health problems, or perhaps you don't know your biological parents. But I'd like to clarify that it's actually the variance in your happiness that can be predicted by your genes. Meaning it isn't half of your happiness that's predicted. It's half of what separates your happiness from another person's happiness on a scale that's predicted. For example, two people play with some puppies. Person 1 is 90% happy after, and person 2 is 70% happy after. 20% is the difference. 50% of that, the part determined by your genes, is 10%. So person 1 is 10% happier because of their genetic advantage. The 40% piece of the pie is the really good news. So this part represents your thoughts and your actions. It includes things like your inner voice, whether that voice encourages you or constantly berates you. It also includes your daily habits, what you eat, what you learn, who you interact with, what you choose to focus your mind on, and a lot of other small things. This 40% is within our power to change, and although that can be difficult, it's where we can have the biggest impact on our long-term happiness. The 10% section represents your external life. So anything that someone could see by examining your life from the outside falls into this category. Your job, your marital status, your house, your holidays, your bank statement. The impact on your long-term happiness from all of these big things squeezed together into just 10%. The false promise of massive increased happiness from reaching external goals not only sets us up for disappointment, but is actually really dangerous because it tells us that we don't need to focus on our mental health now, when in reality, waiting for yourself to be much happier after you get that new car or dreamy spouse is a bit like putting a new door on a derelict house and expecting it to be much more livable. So why do we keep doing it? Why do intelligent people from all walks of life still think that they're going to be happier in the future after they reach the next big goal? Firstly, I believe it's because the idea is reinforced almost everywhere. We hear it in movies and marketing, as well as hearing it from the well-meaning people in our own lives. It'll all be worth it in the end, right? We even tell this to children, thinking that we're teaching them the healthy habit of delayed gratification. But if it's not accompanied with teaching them about positive mental health and where happiness actually comes from, we're setting them up for unhappiness. The second reason that people think they're going to be much happier in the future after they reach the next goal is that humans are just surprisingly bad at predicting their own happiness. We think that future positive and negative events are going to have a much bigger impact on our long-term happiness than they actually do. A well-researched example is of working hard towards a promotion at work. People consistently think that they're going to be much happier when they've received the promotion and the higher salary that comes with it. But the truth is that after about 2 months, the initial buzz is almost completely gone, and people's happiness levels return to pretty much exactly where they were before. Interestingly though, those same people still think they're going to be much happier when they reach their next goal. No matter what big thing you're thinking about, a house, children, a bucket list holiday, the chances are that after you get it, you will be almost exactly the same amount of happy as you are right now, if you change nothing else. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's not negative. It's actually amazing to know that your long-term happiness isn't in the fate of whether or not you achieve some external goal, but is actually determined by the little things that you do every single day. Your happiness and positive mental health is literally built up of millions of little things. Little things, in a social context especially, are extremely powerful. Friendships and relationships, of course, but also the smaller moments, like appreciating a hug or getting some unexpected appreciation at work, or even sharing a smile with a stranger. My favorite example personally is when my husband and I hear our son giggle in his sleep. My heart instantly fills with joy. Susan Pinker's TED Talk, The Secret to Living Longer May Be Your Social Life, taught us that feeling connected to others can increase your life expectancy by up to 50%. Her research shows that the absence of loneliness actually positively impacts the length of your life more than exercising regularly or even quitting smoking. So that quick chat that you have with the delivery driver, or how you FaceTime your grandparents every Sunday, or that coffee date you regularly have with your bestie, those little things can add up to having the biggest impact possible, a longer and happier life. But not all little things that impact our long-term happiness rely on interaction with someone else. My little sister recently told me that she loves the moment when tiny bubbles whoosh into the air from a fairy liquid bottle. It's a random but perfect example. For you, it could be listening to the rain, or the sound of the wind in the trees, the warmth on your hands as you hold a fresh mug of tea, or looking at the stars. In isolation, it's easy to dismiss the positive impact of a single habit, such as appreciating a fleeting moment of natural beauty. But all of those little things that we choose to focus on have an immediate impact. They lower your stress levels and bring your mind into the present moment. When we pause and feel joy, our bodies immediately start to produce our amazing, happy, feel-good hormones like dopamine and oxytocin. Our brains and bodies can then work much more efficiently. High blood pressure lowers, we can think clearer, we're more productive and creative. Amazingly, even our digestive systems and immune systems function better. This helps to explain what happiness researcher Sean Achor calls the happiness advantage. His work actually disproves the common theory that it's successful people who are happier, and proves that the inversion is actually true. Happy people are more successful. A common reason that people give as to why they're hesitant to change their habits is that success is really important to them. And I get that. It's important to me too. So incorporate happiness into your strategy for success and take advantage of the happiness advantage. The big things, they'll always have their place. We all have dreams and goals, and we should. But what if we work towards them just because we believe in progress, in creating a better future, and because we want to feel the satisfaction of achievement? Isn't that motivation enough? I'd like to leave you with this. Think of a big thing that's coming up in your life. Try to imagine yourself feeling pride, satisfaction, abundance, joy, and any other mix of positive emotions once you get there. But not happiness. Stop kicking happiness down the road. If we want to be happier then, we have to start focusing on the little things now. So think of a small moment that recently brought you joy. Be grateful for it and tell yourself the truth that appreciating that moment and others like it will have a bigger impact on your long-term happiness than reaching your next goal. Even if it is a big life goal, like speaking on a TED stage. Thank you.